Hello, my name is Darryl Hutchinson. I have experience as an educator, as a game designer, and I am now about to graduate from NYU Steinhardt ECT's Games for Learning Master's Program. So I'm here today to share with you my capstone thesis project called Bubble Letters, which is a learning game design for K through 4 reading literacy. So let's take a look. I'm going to start by describing the background situation which inspired this project, some of the causes. I'll walk you through my design solution, some of the rationale, and then we'll wrap up. So the situation is that US literacy rates for K through 4 are far below standard. In fact, 37% of US students cannot read at a basic level, and almost 70% of low-income fourth grade students cannot read at a basic level. This problem has been persisting for over 30 years now, and so I wanted to try addressing this issue with my design project. There are so many reasons and factors contributing to this, um, but I'm only going to focus on two in particular with my design: outdated instruction methods and narrow assessment approaches. So what is my solution? It is a playful speaking and matching game that utilizes voice recognition and touch gestures so learners can make and match phoneme bubbles with their voice, which is called bubble letters. So how does bubble letters work? Let's do a quick run through. Uh, First, learners will be introduced to simple phonetics instruction with modeling of proper mouth position, sound, as well as what the written phonemes look like on paper. They'll be prompted to make matches, and if they get those correct, then they will be given different challenges, whereas before they were supposed to hear the sound and then pick the written phoneme, then they might be able to see the phoneme and they have to choose the correct sound. If they make mistakes, that's okay. They can try again. And in the background, these will be logged so that we can measure if the learners are at or above a certain success threshold. If they are below that threshold, they will be gently prompted to repeat the phase. And once they reach a certain amount of success rate, they can then move on to the next phase, which is about speaking. Before, the mic was turned off. Now the mic would be turned on, and the learner would be prompted to make the phoneme that the teacher introduced them to before. If they make the wrong sound, that's okay. They'll get a gentle reminder. They can try again. And once they get that sound, they move on to the next one. If they get enough of this group of sounds correct, then again, staying above the success threshold, they can then move on to the third phase, which is about matching and mastery. They'll have a little more freedom, but it will also be a little more difficult. For example, they'll be given a prompt to complete the word. This time the grapheme will be on screen. They have to make the accompanying phoneme that completes the word, but also touch gesture will be enabled. So they will make the sound, create the bubble, and now they can touch, tap, drag in order to make the correct connection to complete the word. And again, as long as they're above a certain threshold, they can clear this section of phonemes before moving on to another set of 3 or 4 phonemes. Also important to note is that all of this will be tracked and logged in the background so that teachers and parents and students themselves can refer back to this and see where students may be struggling or where they have strengths. So there are a lot of learning theory that went into this design, including but not limited to science of reading, as well as decoding from the assessment approach, games as assessment, self-assessment, such that the learning objectives are very tightly integrated with the game design. So the learner focuses on gameplay and progressing through the game, which is a reflection of their understanding and mastery, but also keeping a log of that performance so that teachers and parents can refer back to at a later date. And from a game-based learning affordance perspective, providing learners situated feedback just in time, as well as multiple representations of each of the phonemes for the learners to have a stronger understanding. So, combining science of reading, interactive assessment for learning, games based learning affordances all converge to provide a research informed, adaptive learning game that benefits teachers, parents, and students to practice their reading skills. If you'd like to connect, you can reach me via email and or LinkedIn. And I would like to thank you very much for listening.